welcome. Happy, what is this? Thursday? Thursday evening. If you are catching this part, you are probably watching it on replay. So if you can come on in and hashtag replay in the comments, that would be awesome. You can also just comment as if you were live. That would be great too, either way. Excuse me, I feel like I have to clear my throat and take a drink. If you are hopping on live, let me know you're here. I see Linda popped on. Thank you, Linda, for hopping on. How are you doing tonight? Welcome. Hi, Tracy. How are you? Hope you're feeling a little better. Sorry you've been sick. That is no fun. We're going to go ahead and get going on painting this while everyone's hopping on. I did get this tray from the Goodwill, and we're going to paint it up and do some other things to it. So we're using chalk paint to get started. How is everyone doing tonight? Hi, Linda and Sheila. Welcome. Thanks so much for sprinkling, Sheila. Carolyn, how are you tonight? I am doing pretty well. I am mostly recovered from the cold. Just have a little bit of the cough still here and there. You just never know when it's going to hit. Hi, Diana. How are you doing tonight? Come on in, you guys, and say hi. We are chalk painting this tree. Wow, tray that I picked up from Goodwill, and it was only $3.99. I know you guys probably can't read it. Sue, hi. Hi, Lenora. Hi, Carolyn. Welcome. It's good to see you guys. How has your day went? How is everyone else feeling? Hi, Renee. Phyllis. Welcome. So we're getting some chalk paint on our tray. This tray is pretty scratched up, but we're going to be covering that, so it's not going to matter. Hi, Shauna. How are you doing? And I will do the underside of this also, but I will do all that later. We're just going to worry about the top right now. Hi, Anita. Hi, Cheryl. How are you doing? It is stormy in Colorado today. I don't know how it is where you guys are, but we had pretty strong wind gusts this morning. Probably a few of them I know had to be 60 or plus. Okay, we've almost got one coat on this tray. I'm going to do the handles now. I loved the handles. That was part of the reason why I chose this one. I just like, if I'm going to do trays, I like doing the ones that have handles. And you can't always find them. I almost got another one too, but it didn't have a handle. If you guys are new to me, be sure and let us know in the comments so we can welcome you. I appreciate you all hopping on. My name is Darlia, and I am owner of Darche Designs. I do live in Colorado. Hi, Jeanette. You're cold in Michigan. but warmer temps are coming. Hi, Becky. How are you doing tonight? Yeah, this week has been colder. We were pretty warm last week in Colorado, but Western Colorado to be exact. And, but this week has definitely cooled back down. We were getting some sprinkles today too. No snow, but definitely sprinkles. Okay, I think we've got a coat on it all. Yeah, I should move it over a tiny bit so you guys can see it better. Of course, we're just painting it at the moment. Have you guys been able to find any silver trays at Goodwill or anywhere? Hi, Teresa. I'm going to hit this with our heat tool real quick so we can get another coat on here. I mean, most of the middle part is going to be covered, so I'm not too worried about that. Just kind of the outside part. Oh, you're having knee replacement on Monday, Becky? That does not sound fun. I will keep you in prayer for sure. It seems like knee replacements, from what I've seen, usually go pretty well. In New Jersey, it's 36 feeling like 28. That is chilly for sure. It's windy and cold in Michigan. Have you guys had, hi Natalie, have you guys had as much snow as you normally do? Thank you guys so much for the likes and the hearts and sprinkling out there. It definitely helps. It just helps wake up Facebook. So I sure appreciate that. And then hopefully Facebook will start sprinkling it out there more too. Facebook's been a bit rough lately, you know, all the changes, it's just a bit wonky. And hi Bonnie. Well, you can usually get them fairly cheap. Wow, my words are not going to be easy tonight. And you can make such really pretty trays once you add different designs, or you can paint them, or you know, so many different things you can do with them. Why, it makes a huge difference from first coat to second coat, right? You're in mid-Michigan and you have more snow than last year. I am going to add a printable. And we will eventually resin it. Probably not tonight because it's going to need time to dry. And I will show you guys when I do that too. I've been wanting to do some other resin things too. So definitely have a resin time coming up. I mean, my part of Colorado on the western side doesn't usually get a lot of snow. I mean, the mountains always get a lot. But we have definitely hardly had anything this year. It's been a very dry winter. And I actually am in the high desert. So, like I said, we don't normally get a lot of snow, but definitely more than we have this year. But it fluctuates. You know, some years we may get a lot and others not that much. And this happens to be one of those others. I will show you guys the printables here in a second after I get this second coat on. And this will be the only coat I add to this middle part for sure. And that will be enough. We're not going to be seeing a lot of it. I can tell Facebook is still being wonky. It's just showing me you guys' comments, but it just keeps saying that you guys are watching over and over again. So then if I say hi to you twice, you have to give me grace because I may forget that I said it already. Hi, Cindy with Cindy's Creation. Oh, you had tornadoes coming through Texas Tuesday. Yuck. I have never been anywhere that has had a tornado warning or anything, thankfully. We do not get those. I mean, on the other side of Colorado, on the plains, like heading into Kansas, they can get them over there, but we don't get them over here, so I am not sad about that. That is for sure. All right, back to the heat tool. Sorry, guys. We will be done with this part soon. Hi, Jeanette. How are you tonight? It's good to see you guys. Let's turn it up a little. Get that metal really hot, right? Oh wow, 75 to 110 mile per hour winds. Yeah, we get pretty strong gusts of winds, but we don't have like sustained winds that go very high. I mean, we can easily get 60 mile per hour and above. Hi Shirley, how are you? It's almost acting like I put crackle on it. So, as soon as I get this somewhat dry, we're going to look at the printables. If you guys were with me, I did a snowman on a tray, a snowman printable. I think that was like the first part of January. I'm going to try to get my videos over to YouTube. I do have a YouTube channel. In fact, my birthday was yesterday, so this week I've been doing posts where you have chances to get your name put in for some Happy Mail. And today's post was all about going over to YouTube and subscribing. But in order to subscribe, you do have to watch part of the video. Otherwise, they just take you back off because they think people are just scamming or whatever. So, and if you do that, you come back into the comments in that post and say that you did, and then you have a chance to have your name, well, your name will be put in for Happy Mail. Hi, Janet. How are you tonight? Okay. Let's look at the printables while that's still drying. I will try not to get them in to the paint. Thank you, Renee. Hi, One Crafty Zombie. Thank you, guys. Yeah, it was the big 6-1 yesterday. So hard to believe that I'm that old. I'm sure we all say that, right? It is. It's crazy. Time goes by so quickly. So we have these really cute little bunnies. These are all from Reba Rose. I am an affiliate with her. And if you like any, be sure and let me know and I can get you that link. Hi, Jackie. How are you doing tonight? You guys can definitely come on your business pages. That doesn't bother me at all. And if you guys see anybody on here that has a business page, if you haven't followed them, be sure and follow them. There's some books. Since I write, I love, you know, the books. Hi, Lulu, Crafting with a Purpose. And we have some cute little dachshunds because I have 3 dachshunds. So they keep me hopping for sure. But the 2 choices we have tonight that will, I think, work in here are going to be one of these 2. So you guys can help me decide. We have these really pretty rain boots with some lilacs and roses and a bird and some rain. So there's choice number 1. And you guys can just put 1 or 2 in the comments. Or you can do a heart for 1 and a like for 2. And then we have this really pretty spring arrangement. Kind of looks like it's surrounded like in a windowsill. Hi, Vicky. And so that would be 2 or a like. So heart or 1 for this one, and then a like or 2 for the other one. One. It's like when I was looking at the likes and hearts, it looked like the likes were winning, but now we're getting more hearts, I think. 1, 2 with Renee. Becky is 1. You love the boots, Sheila? All right, guys, I think you're tending to go more with this one. Natalie likes it. Sorry, Natalie. Number 2. That was my original one. I was going to do this one for sure. Janet likes this one also. All right, we will do something equally as pretty with the other one for sure. I think this will fit in here fairly well. All right, we just need to get this dried the rest of the way. I'm sorry now. That was my original intent before I let everybody do it. But I don't know, once I saw the rain boots, I was like, although I think the flowers fit a little bit better with the tray, with the handle designs and stuff, but either will work. Thank you guys for letting me know what you like though. I appreciate it. So I've been trying to do all kinds of different crafts. Embroidery, paint by number, diamond dot, crochet, sewing. I mean, like, in my personal time. How was the rest of my birthday yesterday? Oh, it was kind of, I don't know. We went out to dinner at a place that we normally like to go, and it was just not very good. It was, I don't know, everything was really salty. Hi, Mary, how are you? And so that was a bit disappointing. And then we were going to go to Barnes & Noble just to kind of walk around and look. When my husband and I first dated, we liked to just go there, and that was kind of our day. You know, kids were still at home because my husband and I were married in 2007. My first husband passed away in 2004, my kids' father. And so anyway, when we were, right after we were married, he's from Florida. And we would go there just to kind of have some time away from the kids and, you know, grab something to eat and just go there and spend some time looking at books and magazines and all of that. So I kind of wanted to do that last night because we hadn't done it for a long time. And I love books. I always have. I love to read. I mean, that's all I did when I was younger, was read. That's, I guess, why I started. Well, I've always loved writing too. I started writing when I was 17, but I didn't have anything published until I was in my 40s. So it took a long time. And so anyway, we went there, but by the time we got there, I don't know, dinner just took a long time too. We didn't have that much time. And then my youngest son called, which was great, you know, and was telling me happy birthday and all of that when I wanted, you know, to talk to him. But by the time it was all said and done, I think I had like 10 minutes to look around. So I don't know, you know, it was one of those plans that you thought would be good, but in reality, probably just should have saved it for a different day. Hi everybody, thanks for hopping on. Okay, we're just going to go around this top part. I'm not going to go around the middle part anymore, and this is our last coat. I was going to try to get a coat on here earlier, but the granddaughter was up having fun, so I didn't get to it earlier. Mom had to work a little bit later tonight, so it just didn't happen. Hi Roberta, how are you? So, I mean, it was good overall. I mean, there was nothing bad about it. It just wasn't quite what I had imagined, right? All right, I think that's good. We're just going to dry that and get that printable on here. And I'm also going to set it up here. What I'll do is I'll just let that dry and we'll start getting our printable ready. And then see where it is in the drying process once we get this ready. So Reba does really amazing printables. If you haven't checked out her website, she has like over 2,000 prints on there. It's crazy. I start looking through them and I'm like, wow. I think I'm almost out of water here, you guys. We're just going to tear our edges, so we go around like that. Hi, Laurel. I write Christian, which is called inspirational pretty much when you're talking, you know, what genre you write. So it's inspirational romantic suspense. So mystery, suspense is the majority of what I write. I have done one time travel and one contemporary, but even those have the romantic suspense in them too. Isn't it pretty, Dixie? It is very pretty for sure. In fact, I have just started writing a sequel to my last book, which actually won a CELA award. And in 2022, that was the last book that I had published. And so I've been wanting to do this sequel for a couple of years, but our lives have had a lot going on, so I didn't get to it. But I'm hoping I can get to it this year. If not finish it, be close to finishing it. I've been outlining it, and of course I have to go back through book one a lot and make notes and do all that so I can remember what I actually, I can remember the general story, but there's all those things that you need to know going into a sequel, like what color, is their hair and eyes, because you don't remember all of that 3 years later. Especially when you have, a few characters. The name of the time travel is Treasure Beyond Time. You can find all my books on Amazon. You just search my name, which is Darlia Sawyer. And it's Darlia, and then Sawyer, like Tom Sawyer. And they'll all pop up. The last book that I wrote was called Secret Presence. So this will be the sequel to that one. I haven't titled it yet. I wrote down a few ideas, but I've not decided. I think I'm going to have 3 books in this series. That is my plan right now anyway. And then I have another book that I've already started researching for and did a little bit on it. And I'm excited for that. That will be like a dual, if I'm boring you guys, just let me know. That will be like a dual, it's called Dual Time. So what it will be like is I'll be writing in present day. And then, yeah, if you guys need the link to this, I can get you that. Just let me know. Because if I give you my affiliate link, I do get a little bit of credit for it. And it just lets Reba know that, that I'm actually showing her stuff. But thank you for sharing that too. I mean, it's okay if you guys just go to it. It's not that big a deal, but. So anyway, it will be modern day, and it's going to be set in this town in Colorado called Redstone. And it's actually going to be present day, like I said, but then there will be a diary that takes you back into the same place, 200 years ago. So you'll be seeing that in real time, and you'll be seeing present day in real time. So I have not done that yet. I thought it would be fun, so we're going to try that. I'm probably going to have to take off some corners and stuff like that, but we'll see how it goes here. How many of you guys like to garden? I am ready to start planting some seeds inside so that they can. All right, let's just go ahead and finish drying this up. It's almost dry. Oh, that's no problem, Dixie. Yeah, I just became an affiliate not too long ago, so it hasn't been too long. No worries. I appreciate you guys doing the link. very much. So in Colorado, we can't really plant till after Mother's Day, but you can start everything inside and get it going. And that's what I have to do every year. I haven't even cleaned out all the dead stuff from last year. Unfortunately, that's all still awaiting me outside. Okay. Think we got it. This tray isn't really big. Too big. I'll give you the dimensions on it real quick. I was going to do that and then I forgot. So it's probably 14 by about 10 and a half. The last one I did was quite a bit bigger than this one. Okay. So really all I think we're going to have to do is just round our corners a little bit. And I can just grab a pencil somewhere. You know, I cleaned my craft room. So where they used to be is where they no longer are. Oh, yay, I put them clear over in the corner. That is handy, right? All right, so let's just kind of pencil in where I want that to go. This one's going to be a little hard to see. And I took up some paint, but again, that won't matter, so you're not going to see it. Which tells me even though it feels dry, it's not really dry yet. Okay, now let's get some decoupage medium down. So that can be drying too. This is Decoupage Varnish and Glue by Pentart, and I really like using this. And my makeup's been I haven't been in here enough, you guys, since I cleaned. And I'm like, oh, I'll make this really easy for me so I know where everything is. I don't know. They're hiding. We're just going to use brush. And I'm just going to cover the whole thing. And you don't want to put gobs, but you do want to get a decent amount on this. I still use Mod Podge now and then, but I really like this. I think better. And you can just use watered down glue. You don't have to use this or any other kind of thing. I mean, rice paper is a little thicker, so you do want to, like I said, make sure you get a good amount down. Okay, that can be drying while we're getting this corners off of this paper. How many of you guys like to read? If you do, what's your favorite thing to read? I've always loved history, so I wanted to write about history. I used to explore ghost towns up high in the Rocky Mountains. I actually love doing that. I haven't been up there for a few years, but so fun to go to those old ghost towns, mining towns, like, you know, 14,000 feet high. It's just crazy. And they had pretty big, you know, towns going because mostly silver mining up there. But it was crazy how many people were up that high. And they would basically be snowed in off and on, sometimes for a bit, you know. It's funny, I read this when I was researching stuff about this pastor, preacher, that used to snowshoe into these, you know, places so that they could do church services. And that's the only way, you know, they had anybody in some of these mining cities and stuff that they could get somebody in there. He had to snowshoe in the winter. Okay, we're going to dry this real quick and get this on here. So that was fun. And then you would take like those big kind of horns or something, and he would get kind of like in the middle of town and blow it to let everybody know that he was there. And then they would just go into the saloon and have service because there was no other place to have it. Get my iron preheating so we don't have to wait for that. Hey, Luella. Oh, you think I might like this story title? This is nice. I'll have to check that out. You love to read, Laura? Yeah, I don't know what I love more, you know, writing and reading or crafting. They're probably pretty close to the same. I love both. I've also been sewing since I was a teenager. Back in high school when they did home ec, right? I think we're done. But my mom was actually, she was teaching me before I even started that, so. All right, let's try to get this on here somewhat even. The nice thing about drying your decoupage medium is you can move your printable or transfer or whatever you have around a little bit more, and you won't have to worry about it ripping and tearing. Let me see. You would think it wouldn't be that hard to get this even, right? Okay. Hopefully I've got it this time. Maybe just bring it over a tad. Okay, what do you think, guys? Do you think I've got it now? Hopefully. Does that look good? Hi, Pam. So now I'm just going to grab some parchment paper and we're going to iron this down. And then I'd like to go around our edges and stuff so we can bring out, you know, all the detail. Yeah, I've made so many things. I used to sew somewhat, well, one of the first things I made actually was, not first things, but when I was still in high school, I made my senior prom dress. And that took a bit of time. And then this should, when you feather your edges and then you iron it in, it just kind of, I look at it as like it kind of melts into your surface, usually. That's the goal anyway. And it's hard to tell that that it wasn't, you know, painted on there. Having two pieces of parchment paper is kind of a pain though. Let me take it up here in this corner a little better. Let's see, it's not quite down. Decoupaging is just so fun, right? How can you stick to just one craft? That's my problem. I love everything. I love doing wreaths and florals and, like I said, sewing and stenciling and signs and... All right, I think it's on there pretty well. I might go back a little bit more, but let's go ahead and do those edges. We could also, since I'm going to resin this, and we can also go in and do some rhinestones and stuff too. Would be really pretty on here. So I do have like a bronze color and a gold color. What do you guys think would be best? It does kind of have the gold in her boots, but we also kind of have the bronze color there. Tell me, you guys, what do you think would be better? Here's what the gold looks like. And then you can't see on this lid as well what the bronze looks like. Do you guys have any preferences? Hi, Robin. All right. I'm not seeing anything yet. Or you can do hearts for gold. And thumbs up for bronze, if that's easier. Gold, Vicky. Gold, Becky. Okay, you guys seem to be liking the gold. So I'm just going to put some on my finger and start brushing or rubbing. I don't have a brush, right? Rubbing it on here, since those were the first ones I saw. Dixie, you said gold also. See how that just starts bringing out not just the edge, but it brings out the colors in the print too. It just, you know, helps do all that. So pretty, right? Okay, I'm going to do the handle so you guys can see that. It just makes a huge difference in how it looks. And I'll show you closer up here in just a second. So our tray was only $4. The print I believe was $5. And then of course I already had the decoupage, the paint, and our antique paste. I don't even know if I showed you what that was. This is also a print art project. And I think my time is up, so I'm going to do the halfway mark here and show you guys what it looks like. And of course, I will get the rest of it on there, and we will be resining this a different night and possibly adding some rhinestones and stuff to it. What do you guys think? Do you like it? Yeah, and if you guys need the link to this print, I can definitely get it to you, or they did already put it in there. You do not have to use my link. But thank you guys so much for listening to me tonight, hopping on, being here with me. If you haven't followed my page yet, I would love to have you here. I also do have a Telegram channel that you can join, and I would love to have you on there also. But you guys, have a great night. Be blessed. Be sure if you're on Craft Around the Clock, you just refresh for the next creator. If you're not on there, that link is up in my description. So thank you guys. I will actually be on tomorrow at 2 p.m. Mountain Time to do the bags, buttons, and baskets Fun Friday event. So I would love to see you then too. I think well, I'll just let it be a surprise. You'll have to come see what we're going to do tomorrow. All right, you guys, have a great night.